Context is how can you prepare for aggression? That's a good question. But the flip side is also one of preemption, which is deterrence and diplomacy. And I agree, Boris, that you need to build sufficient capability, defense capabilities as a deterrence. And that's for Singapore, very small country. We've spent 3% of our GDP on our defense budget, and purely for deterrence. Nobody sees us as a threat, I hope. But on the flip side of deterrence and preemption is what we're doing now, multilateralism, as well as one important aspect, and it may not be applicable because after Russia invaded Ukraine, it's difficult, but it's trade. Single most epochal event has been globalization, which lifted many countries. Trade between China and Japan went up multifold. Trade between China and Taiwan went up multifold. You talk about the global south, Chinese investments into Africa. So my point is, if we are talking about prevention of conflict, I think it would be imbalanced, if we don't also talk about how do you increase trade, how do you produce a system that you enlarge the pie and that there are more stakeholders. Right. We are security chiefs, but trade is a very necessary component of peace and deterrence.
I want to go to Minister Tax, but you seem a little bit excited.
I could not agree more theoretically. Because we did all that with Russia, we did all that with other countries, and still now we are criticized, for sure, that we did so much in trade with Russia because we were too depending on Russia, and so we had trade with Russia, a lot. But still Putin decided to go this way and to attack, to invade Ukraine. Nothing of all the things we used to do during the last decades prevented him from doing that.
So exactly, does trade is therefore a solution to prevent trade? Because in the case of Germany, it didn't really work.
I wonder if Mr. Putin is a sui generis and that we could apply all lessons and...
No, of course not. Of course not.
I would say that China is not Russia. And my assessment is that presidency is not Putin.
I agree, and we do have trade with China, and we will have trade with China. We have to de-risk a little bit and not to put all our eggs in one basket. This is quite smart to do that, but still we have trade, and we will have trade with China in the future.